Hey guys, so as I said yesterday, I plan to make a little video that just shows some of the yoga moves that I'll be doing to help increase the flexibility through my hips and hamstrings over the next 6 weeks. And having taken a picture of how not far my body could get in certain poses because of lack of flexibility, I'm going to retake those photos in 6 weeks time and just see what has happened over that time period. So if you're going to be doing this with me, have props that look like this, either because they are these props or because you've got something that will be suitable for said props. So I've got 2 yoga blocks. This could be a couple really thick books that you can stack on top of one another. Just make sure they're not slippery in any way. Have a blanket or some sort of cushion that will go underneath the knee, and then have something that looks like a bolster. So that could be a bolster or a towel wrapped up around a pillow to make it really nice and firm, or if you've even got a nice firm cushion. Often couch cushions are nice and firm, so if you want to take apart the couch, go for it. Okay, so we're not going to do anything fancy here, and it'll be pretty simple in that the moves will be simple, but stretching the hamstrings and hips is not always simple. So let's just start with low lunge. So just start from hands and knees, and we will take the right foot up to the right thumb. My ponytail here is a little bit whacked. So we're going to take the right foot up to the right thumb, and I'd like you to make sure that the knee is stacked right over the ankle. That didn't really help. The knee is stacked right over the ankle rather than pressing forward from the ankle, because that's really stressful in the joint. And take some time to lift that back leg up and really stretch it out behind you, so that when you place that back knee down, this is where the blanket comes in handy. Sometimes we need a little extra cushioning underneath that joint. But you want to stretch this leg out behind you so that as you start to come into low lunge, you're starting to get a stretch through this back thigh already. So up to you whether you want toes tucked or top of the foot flat on the floor. I personally prefer toes tucked, totally up to you. All right, and let's just start by taking a few breaths here. So you are feeling nice and stable through the legs, but you're allowing the hips to already start sinking down here so that you can start to feel this stretch through the hamstrings here and through the hip flexors of that back leg. So holding here for, really the next few poses you can hold for as many breaths as you want. I usually stay in them for, I don't know, sometimes a minute or 2 each. So I won't do that for sake of video, but you'll hang out here for as long as you want, hit pause on the video, and come back into the next pose when you're ready to. So let's just hold each of these for 10 breaths for sake of story. I would say that I've probably already been here for about 10 breaths because I've been talking a lot. So again, holding here as long as you want. And then from low lunge, we'll take the right hand to the inside of the right foot, and you'll walk the right foot out to the outside edge of your mat. So this is where the stretch starts to get a little bit deeper, particularly through the hamstrings of this front leg. So your option here is to just remain with arms straight, or you can start to bend into the elbows. It makes the stretch a little bit deeper, so you want to go very cautiously. And this is where the bolster or couch cushion or whatever you've got will come in handy, because often we can bend into the elbows, but we can't quite bring the forearms down to the floor. Things are really tight, so you can just come on into your couch cushion or bolster or whatever and hang out here. So this particular pose I hold for actually quite a long time. I find the longer I stay in it, the nicer it feels. So you'll chill out here for as long as you want. And again, for sake of space on video, let's say we've done our time here. So we've got a couple options. You can stay with this foot flat and just chill out here for as long as you want to, or you can change the stretch up a little bit by rolling onto the outside edge of this foot. If you do this though, I'd like you to really be conscious of the fact that you're taking that rotation from the hip socket. So rather than just collapsing into the ankle, let me just move this. Rather than just simply collapsing into the ankle, you're actually going to let the rotation of the leg come from the top of the leg where it should, and you'll keep the ankle really nice and strong. Okay, so all that rotation and movement has come from the biggest joint of my leg, which is where we should take all our movements from. And you can keep this foot flexed, or you can relax it a little bit. Again, just notice what's feeling better for you. You can stay with arms straight, or again, you take advantage of this bolster and come down to forearms. Sometimes we have enough space in the body that we can bring the forearms right down to the mat. I'm not there right now. So I'm going to take advantage of the bolster. Okay, and we'll chill out here for as many breaths as you want. This has changed the stretch to a little bit more into the outside of my hip and into this glute muscle. And this whole time I'm still getting this nice deep stretch through the hip flexors and the thigh of that back leg. All right, so you've chilled out here for as many breaths as you want. Again, minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long you want to do this. You'll slowly work your way back up. Please, whenever you're coming out of any of these poses, that you move really slow. When we've taken the muscles and ligaments to that intense stretch, that really deep stretch, you want to bring them back to the normal length as slowly and carefully as you can. Okay, so I'm going to send this bolster out to the side. I'm going to slowly come back onto the sole of this foot, and I'm going to take this hand back to the outside. Tucking my back toes under, I am going to straighten this front leg and sit back towards the back heel. I've still got my toes tucked under. Again, if your foot wants to be flat, that's fine. Keep pressing out through the ball of this foot, keeping this leg as extended as you can, but be aware of the knee joint here, so don't press into the back of the knee joint. Keep a soft bend here. And you can start bringing the belly down toward the thigh as much as you want, so long as you have space. So the more we come forward, the more of a stretch I'm getting through that hamstring and glute muscle of this extended leg. Keep lifting the chest as you do this though, okay? So don't just simply round in, because you're actually not deepening the pose in any way. Okay, so we can take just a few breaths here. It's a little hard to hang out in this pose for a long time because the back foot gets really tired. But we can take this a little bit further by coming into almost full splits. So I'm just gonna walk this front foot forward, and as I'm doing that, I'm stretching my back leg out behind you. And this is where blocks or your stack of books will come in handy if you don't have a lot of openness in the body. So stretching the back leg out behind me, as you can see, I'm using these blocks for support under the hands, and I'm going to slide that front leg forward, flexing through the ball of this foot. Back foot is tucked or untucked, whatever works. Softness around this knee joint. Again, don't press down into the back of the knee joint. And you'll chill out here for a while. This one's very intense for me, so I can't hold it super long, but I do find that the longer I can hold it, the more I can feel things stretching and opening. Okay, so again, you'll chill out here for as long as you want to. And after that, we'll slowly ease our way back into low lunge. So move really carefully. So just gently slide this front foot till it becomes flat again and inch the back knee forward. And then we'll take a deeper stretch through that back thigh. So I'm going to take advantage of this blue blanket under my knee again. Okay, so with front knee stacked back over that ankle, a few things you can do here to deepen the stretch through the hip flexors and back thigh. You can just simply sink down nice and low toward the mat. You can bend the knee and take the heel towards the sit bone. That increases the stretch a little bit. Or two ways that you can take a hold of that back foot. I like to do it this way. I take the opposite hand, reach around, take that foot in the hand. My clothes get stuck in the front hip joint, so I need to kind of wiggle around and move the sweater. And then you just chill out here for a few breaths. So you can also bring a twist into this by opening the chest to that front knee. You can also do another little hip opening here, so you can gently roll onto the outside edge of that front foot again, rotating from the hip socket. And take a little bit more of a stretch into the front hip as well. So again, you'll chill out here. Oh, sorry. So there's one other way you can do this. So this is the way I like to do it. But another option is to take the hand to the inside of the front foot so that you're really nice and balanced, and reach around with the hand on the same side and take the stretch there. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to get the foot into the hand if you take the arm on the same side. So do whatever works. Okay, so you're chilling out here for several breaths. And then again, coming out of the pose really gently, especially if you've added the twist and the chest opener and stuff like that. Just move really nice and slow. Come on out, and then we will just ease our way back onto all fours. And we'll slowly come into what's known as frog pose. So I'm just gonna quickly rearrange some things here so I'm facing the camera. Okay, so imagining you have a little more space than I've created for myself here. Again, take advantage of some padding under the knees. organize this little blankie here. Okay, now this one's super intense, but I like this one. It's called frog pose. It looks a little awkward, but it's good. So come to hands and knees, and then walk the knees out as wide as you can. And you're going to flex the feet, protects the knee joint, and hence you look like a frog. Okay, so I can take mine out just a little bit further, not too much though. All right, and then just start to ease your way down to elbows. And then you kind of have to shift the weight around a little bit until you can feel the weight of the body right over the hips. So for me, it's pressing the hips back a little bit, and now I can really feel the stretch happening through the inside of the groin, through the groin area, through the inside of the hips. And you'll hold this one again for as long as you can. So this is a nice one that, you know, maybe hold it for 10 breaths, and then if you kind of just let go of the stretch, come forward a little bit, let the arms take some of the weight, take a couple breaths, and then come back into the intensity of the stretch. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Again, I hold each pose for quite a length of time. And of course, don't forget to switch and do the other side. So you can just replay the video, but switch the legs up. And let's see what happens in 6 weeks' time. Thanks.